Hello again, welcome back. It's 6:37. You're watching Breakfast with Anne and Paul. Time to go through the papers now. Joining us this morning is Dawn Neeson, the former editor of the Daily Star, and Pete Price, legendary radio and TV broadcaster, who has a bee problem, and it's been getting everybody talking this morning already. Tell us about your bee problem again.
Well, first of all, can I say I'm thrilled to be working with that lady at the end. We haven't seen each other for ages, and what a great team today. So excited to be here today.
Good.
You could say we're buzzing.
I
was wondering how long before the bee puns would start.
Through Liverpool, I've had, well, if it isn't the Queen Bee. Thank you very much indeed. We've had all that. So last time I was on here, the day before, these bees came to my window, sort of 50 to 60,000 in a swarm. I managed to close the window in time. I still, to this day, do not know what would have happened if they'd have got in my home. There they are. That's my bedroom window. I was absolutely frightened. And now in my roof,
that is massive.
We're talking now about £1,000 to get rid of them so far. £1,000.
Is that a pound a bee?
Oh,
it looks like it.
Have they been identified as bees, bumblebees, or honeybees?
No, they're definitely honeybees.
They are honeybees.
I've had everybody wants to get involved now through social media and through my radio show. And this lovely beekeeper, Fred, came with Tom, who's a pest control guy. They were hysterical. Fred bought me 2 jars of honey. The last thing I need is 2 jars of honey. But then told me a story about one of his clients who's got bees in the roof, and the honey is dripping through the bedroom the bedroom walls. It's seeping through. And this is what I'm worried about. I've got to get rid of them because
So what have they advised you? That it would
they're now talking about, they were talking about stripping the roof back to get the queen out and to get the honeycomb out, but now they're talking about putting a tube on it with a box on the roof to put the bees into there with some honey. They can't get back, empty the box. They can't get back, empty the box. One day the queen turns around and goes, "Where's all my bees?"
Yeah.
And they come back. Oh, sorry, then she goes. It's going to take months, and it's unreal.
That really
unreal.
is.
And by the way, council will not deal with bees. Wasps, yeah. Bees, no.
Why not?
I don't know.
Well, wasps, because they probably kill them.
Yeah.
But bees, they can't, and it's an expensive and long-winded job.
Well, I said, can't you smoke them? And they said they get slightly angry, and you have to keep your window closed. I keep my window closed anyway. Honestly, it's opened a can of worms.
No, it's opened a hive of bees.
Hive of bees,
but,
yeah.
It's apiarist, I think, was the word I was...
That's the word.
Apiarist is
But if anybody can help me out there...
Well, you see, already...
Yeah.
JB has got in touch, said most beekeepers won't charge to remove a hive because they're just pleased to get a cheap additional hive if they're honeybees. A honeybee hive retails at 75 quid.
Yeah, but the problem is,
But
I'm in a penthouse, so I'm in the top.
The queen bee is in a very difficult spot, presumably. It's not just
she'll be
hanging
right
on
in the middle of the
tree or
roof.
something.
She'll be somewhere there, just sitting, waiting. Come on, get me out, Pricey, if you can.
And honey is coming through the wall.
Not on mine, not on mine.
Not yet.
Not
These
yet,
clients, not
but-
yet. I mean, and also apparently, joking apart, it then attracts other vermin like rats. And one day I was in my kitchen, I'm 3 stories up, it's a new build, and I saw a tail in my kitchen. It had come up the walls, and I did not know that rats could travel.
Oh, yeah, no, rats are amazing.
So the last thing I need is them after the honey.
This is a real hornet's nest.
I've got a conversion, and between the new wall and the very old wall, there is sometimes a gap.
Yeah.
And I heard scurrying, or you could hear at night.
Hello?
I had to get a man in to come and fix them up. Yeah.
I've walked into a Stephen King.
I was about to say, do you want to contribute to the pest anecdotes?
Yes, actually, shall we see the seamless link between rats and the House of...
Oh, yeah, all right, yeah. Take it
See that?
away.
See, I set you up there and you put it away.
Yeah, this is pretty much every front page today. The Independent, the Times, the Telegraph, all about Chris Pincher, the MP for Tamworth, who, after fresh allegations yesterday that Boris Johnson heard personally, has finally been suspended. Now, Boris claimed that, it was listening to the victims that finally made him make this decision. However, those who are against Boris are saying, well, this is common knowledge in the House. We all knew what Chris Pincher was like. So, you should have acted before on this. And, I think we were discussing earlier, you can't but agree with that, can you? If you're aware that a person has this reputation, and it is common knowledge, not just in Parliament, why would you even promote him, which has happened?
Well, the only answer to that is because he is totally loyal to
He's
Prime
very,
Minister.
very loyal.
And Boris Johnson seems to really like, he prioritises loyalty above maybe...
And that's the thing, I mean, you know, Pincher had to resign in 2017 and was promoted after that, and you know, because he is so loyal to Boris, one of the few that are, you know, vocally loyal to Boris, is why he's survived for so long. But yesterday, you know, it had to happen, didn't it? And he has been suspended now. But you know, there are more claims expected to come out this week about him. And you know, there were some sort of like quite fun quotes in, I think it's the Eye today, from people that have worked with him. I mean, you know, he's got a nickname in Parliament. It's a rude word for bottom. Goes with his Pincher.
Right.
That's his nickname in Parliament, evidently.
Right.
Because of his behaviour.
Right.
So it's very...
Can I just say in this? I knew nothing about this story. I heard about it. It's, as you say, it's in all the papers. Isn't there a bigger picture as well? I heard that the man is a troubled soul. What's happened to duty of care in work? What happens to HR and helping in other companies to help? Why shouldn't MPs get some help if, in fact, because he's not been proved guilty yet?
No.
We're only hearing stories.
Yeah.
But every paper
Although he has
proved
admitted that he got ridiculously drunk.
But that's
He got
and
ridiculously drunk. He hadn't
embarrassed
admitted
himself.
But
anything
that's the
else.
other thing. His resignation letter actually started last night. I drank too much. It's like a letter from your teenage son, isn't it? I mean,
But he needs help, though.
I mean, I heard the former Minister, Anna Soubry, saying it is well known that he is a troubled soul.
Yeah.
And that is a very sad thing to
It
say
is
about
sad.
somebody. So he needs help. And apparently Westminster just doesn't have the infrastructure for giving that sort of
Maybe they should put that in place, because let's face it, in every job, broadcasting, every job, there is help there. MPs have a terrible job, terrible time, whatever. They can't win, whatever they do. Love or hate any MP.
I should imagine...
They do need help.
Should imagine the HR department's quite busy. This is the fifth Tory MP to be suspended or ordered to stay away over the past 6 months.
Yeah.
It's quite busy there, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
And we know, we're hearing more that there is a culture of drinking too much in Westminster, and it needs to be addressed properly.
No, it really does. I mean,
Yeah.
the Carlton Club where this is alleged to have taken place, I mean, it was men only into 2008, Anne. But it's one of the few late night venues where, because of the hours Parliament works, which also needs to be looked at, doesn't it? I mean, why would you don't need to work those hours, do you? I mean, coming out late at night, stressful job, but you're going to go drinking to the early hours of the morning. I mean, why
Let's
would you have normal
remind
hours?
everybody too, the old journalist days, journalists were known for drinking.
Yes.
They were drinking.
In Fleet Street,
Yeah,
yeah,
they
absolutely.
were
I
drinking.
think you're not looking at me there, Mr. Price.
Not it. I'm looking right at the camera behind you.
GBViews at gbnews.uk, if you want to feed back to us on that one. Holiday chaos, more flight cancellations, Dawn.
Yes, I'm getting all the good stories today, the really cheerful ones. This is again, it's
in all of them.
papers.
And it's not just Britain.
No, it's not, and that's the interesting thing, Anne, because people are going, oh, it's Brexit, all these cancellations, but it's not, because it's in America, you've got problems. Germany have got it worse than us, and they've actually had to employ people from Turkey to get their airports actually functioning. And you've got strikes going on in France and Spain as well. But it's a new wave of cancellations that are announced next week, with British Airways bearing the brunt of them. And it's all to do with the complicated slots that flights are allocated even at the airports, and it's like the rules have changed as well, which have made the situation even worse. And sort of like, you know, so there's been 78% increase in cancellations across Europe, so it's not just here.
Would it put you off going on holiday?
I'm so glad you said that, Dawn. Lots of my pals are now back in the industry, going on the cruise ships as entertainers. A mate of mine, John Martin's, just had major problems in Germany, waiting 2-3 hours. It isn't England, it's every single place.
And when you think about it, is it that surprising? The world has just gone through a pandemic.
Yes.
You have to keep reminding yourself of this, don't you? I mean, if we had said we're going to go through a global pandemic, if you'd told me 10 years ago, you wouldn't have believed it. You would have thought it was the plot of a sci-fi movie. But we have just been through that incredible global phenomenon. We're not totally at the other end of it either.
Well, no.
Maybe it's not that surprising that it's going to take a bit longer to get back
Yeah,
to
but I guess
normal.
but I think the annoying thing is, and I know this because Lufthansa lost my luggage last Saturday. And so
That's a headline for you.
So I
Hunter
lost my luggage, yeah, and now they've flown it to Munich the day after I came back, which is good. So I think my luggage is having a nice holiday at the moment. But I do feel sorry for the airline staff because they told me, it's management. They've scheduled all these these flights, and now we can't meet them, and so it's. One of the ladies did say to me, she went, "It's chaos in London at the moment, it's chaos." I thought, well, it's your airline and you provide the ground staff and the baggage staff. Yeah. So
It's like they didn't plan for the end of the pandemic. I mean, who knew that people would want to travel after 2 years of not going anywhere?
Yeah.
Well, everyone realised that was the case, apart from the airline.
Yeah, sorry, just very quickly, do you know what the most annoying thing is, though? There's no one to talk to about it.
No.
There's no phone line. There's no phone line to call.
But they're also hiding.
All I've got is automated emails and automated chatbots who don't
And
understand
that's
what I'm
even
saying.
the worst thing, because I think a lot of passengers going through hell, sleeping on airport terminal floors and all the rest of it, they would put up with it for their holiday as long as they were told what was going on.
Yes, yes.
You mentioned about your luggage. Last time I was in Manchester, but I've never seen such hundreds upon hundreds of suitcases. People are just leaving them. They're just going because they've just had enough. My friend just came back 3.5 hours waiting for their suitcase off the plane.
Yeah, only take cabin baggage.
Hand luggage, absolutely.
I'm surprised. Were you travelling for work?
Yeah, that's why I was at the gym. That's why I was
Why
doing
didn't you
reports
take-
last week
why
in
didn't
a
you
shorts
take-
and t-shirt.
The same shorts
your
and t-shirts.
It was. I was wearing it for 3 days.
By the
Yeah.
way, you look great in shorts.
Oh, thanks, mate.
But why didn't you just take cabin baggage?
No, I did have some as well,
Yeah.
but I had my laptop in it, and I had like a jumper in it and a t-shirt.
So you took one of
and
the
but the
holes as
suits
well.
were in the bag.
And it does depend on which airline you're flying with as to
Yes.
how big your hand luggage can be, and it's like you can't fit anything apart from a mobile.
Interesting you say about that, Dawn. Some of the big airlines, like Emirates, no problems at all.
Yeah.
And if you're flying first or business class, no problems.
Speaking of flying, there's a story apparently about pigeons.
Oh.
Yes.
This
We've
is
been
it's
talking
not a
about
story. I'm getting all the yeah, absolutely.
we've been talking about bees. We're talking about pigeons.
Bees, rats, and pigeons. Now we have it's the front page of the Daily Star, which is having some fun with the story. This is a racing pigeon called Bob, and it ended up 4,000 miles away in the US after getting lost on its way back home to Gateshead. So basically, this little pigeon is owned by Alan Todd, who is now frantic with worry. But the pigeon was sort of like disappeared. It was meant to be flying from Guernsey back to Gateshead, and ended up in Alabama in America.
That's not a homing pigeon,
No,
is it?
it's not very good. It's chop, is it?
That's not a homing pigeon.
We still use pigeons to send messages to each other up north.
It'd be quicker than anything else, I think, at the moment, wouldn't it? Even an email.
Bob now has to be flown back on a plane.
Well, they might lose his luggage. Who knows? On the way.
It's about £3,000.
Yeah.
There
Oh,
was a
really?
story last week about pigeons having to have passports, homing pigeons. If you fly them from France, for instance, to England, they're going to have passports.
No, they're not. No, they're not.
Do you
You're
think that's
right.
a Brexit bendy banana story?
Yeah, I think it might be. Yeah. Are they going to be blue passports?
Look, we've got to say goodbye and thank you for the moment, but you'll be back, and we'll probably find some more pigeon stories. I think you've got a pigeon story to tell us a bit later.
Yes, there's some more pigeon-related issues.